What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we're coming at you live for the match review, our 5 takeaways between the round of 16 DFB-Pokal game that just happened between Borussia Dortmund and Paderborn, a game in which we won 3-2. Now, we were up technically 3-1 at one point, and a lot of people were tuning out and were asking what basically happened. And, I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, Holland made it 3-1, game, set, match. VAR overturned it, gave Paderborn a penalty, made it 2-2, sent it to overtime, but Erling Haaland scored to make it 3-2 for the victory. So, my first takeaway, as this was a topsy-turvy kind of game, is going to be a positive one, and that was a hot start. We scored a goal on the 6th minute and the 16th minute, respectively, to obviously get us a strong 2-0 start. That's been a huge issue with our team this season, is just having very lackluster, unenthusiastic starts, sitting back, and then finally being able to break teams down over time. Not today. We actually had a very, very positive start, which is something that we're a little unused to. And it was honestly good to see, though, because we got off on such a good positive note, and I thought it was going to be cruise sailing. I'll do my 3 positive points first, because my second takeaway is going to be Jadon Sancho. And Jadon Sancho is finding his form. He had such a good shift today. He obviously had that goal, which he took with just such class, someone who was in honestly good form, and that's exactly what we like to see. And he walked round to the keeper after taking a nice little turn from Haaland and stuck in the back of the net. And he just overall had an impact on the game. And you could see the way that he was dancing with the ball and having fun and playing with it, that he's finding his form. It's a Jadon Sancho that we know and love, and we like to see it. And then my third takeaway is his partner in crime, and that's Erling Haaland. Haaland, I like to refer to him as a train because he's absolutely that. He is full tilt the entire 120 minutes. And I didn't want to see him play 120 minutes, but unfortunately he did. And, I mean, he had a great game. He got the goal. He could have potentially had 1 or 2 more. But the thing that I liked about him is he ran down the ball every single chance he got. He put pressure on the Paderborn defense, which didn't let them play over the back as easy as they would like. Even in overtime, after 120 minutes, the man is still running down and using his body and holding up the play well. He is a blessing for this team, and it's good to see him get that goal because it's just nice when he's scoring. Because when he's not scoring, he's very angry. Even though he did miss an opportunity, which we saw how angry it made him, and then he missed another one late in the game when he made the wrong decision. So, all in all, though, Haaland is such an important player to us and was part with his Sancho's performance, as well as a good little shout-out to Delaney and Chan, who I both thought had very good games. Overall, all those players played very, very, very well. But there's 2 little not negative effects here for our 5 takeaways. My fourth 5 takeaway is sitting back. And you see it a lot with clubs when you get an early lead. For example, a nice example to use is if Schalke, for example, scores first against Bayern. Naturally, they sit back. They're like, holy crap, we have a lead against a team like Bayern. We sit back, take a lot of pressure, and over time, it's just too much to bear, and then you're exhausted from defending, and it's not the best tactic. There's no reason why Dortmund should have sat back in a game like Paderborn. We're a superior team to them, and no offense, because Paderborn had an excellent game today for themselves, but we shouldn't have had sat back, especially that early. 16 minutes in, you're up 2-0, but they were so lackluster, and there's 3 clear-cut chances, which Hitz had 3 very, very well done saves that could have potentially turned this game around for Paderborn. And all in all, they didn't take their chances, but the pressure over time of sitting back and sitting back and sitting back allowed Paderborn to finally get in the game. They got the 2-1, and then, unfortunately for VAR, it turned into a 2-2 game and sent it to overtime, but there was really, in my opinion, no reason for us to sit back. We probably could have just kicked on and potentially even got a third. But instead, in my opinion, we were lucky to be at that point in the game with a 2-0 lead. And we couldn't obviously keep it. But we woke up a little bit in overtime and obviously got the goal and saw the game through. But the 4th point goes on, and that is on to our defense. And our defense is a touching point. My 5th takeaway is our defense. And our defense is a touching point because we obviously have the fullback issue of not having Guerrero out there. Murai wasn't overly convincing in the first half. He got substituted for Paslak, who again wasn't overly convincing. I thought he had some decent runs, but all in all, he gave away the pen that led to the tying goal. Schultz didn't look all that comfortable out there. When Guerrero came on, it just showed how to sturdy the ship. And it's interesting. The both goals I think could have been avoided. The 3 opportunities that Paderborn had earlier to score again could have been avoided. Poor defending, and thankfully, Hitz was playing relatively well, which was helping us out at the back. But due to those lapsing concentrations from our defense, it led to a 2-2 game, which put the game into overtime. And if you ask me, one of the worst things that can happen in a COVID-packed season is getting extra time put on these heavy legs. Holland's a perfect example. He played the entire 120 minutes because I mean, we couldn't really afford to put anyone else out there, and that's just more minutes on him, and it just potentially can lead to situations where he's injured and whatnot. I don't even want to talk about that, but that's the facts. When you play these kind of minutes in such a scheduled season, it would have been nice to see it over the line, which we should have done in a team at home against Paderborn, but unfortunately we didn't. We got the win in the end, and that is all that matters, but is some things to take into consideration, especially as how long the season's going to be. So those are my 5 takeaways, guys. I did want to get those honorable mentions to Delaney and Chan because I was very impressed with the change in shape into the 3-4-3 and thought Chan played very well as that central center back and Delaney doing what Delaney does, especially with that ball. So you guys can let me know what you guys thought of the performance as well, and if you obviously were concerned with some of our defense. I know the fullbacks will definitely be a talking point, but it'll be a very quick little, obviously, watch our 5 takeaways here because of the watch along, and it was about 3 hours, so I am very tired, so no chat really today. So if you are new around here, guys, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.